Welcome back to League of Lads Season 5, Game 2 between Eternal Kings versus DarkW for Head. And we're off into the drafting phase. In the drafting phase, same bands coming from the side of Eternal Kings. They do respect the Bat Rider that is played by Sasquatch and the Nature Prophet, and they don't want him to have his comfort heroes. And the same bands coming from DarkW for Head, the Bloodseeker and Wind Ranger. And even the same pick coming from Eternal King. The Snapfire was doing really good setting up kills with the Clockwork, setting up kills with the Terrorblade, and I think his ult was never cancelled in that game. He was playing with extremely good positioning and was able to get full ults and was able to do a lot of damage on the side of DarkW for Head. I think DarkW for Head might want to change a bit of how they're drafting. I think they might have overlooked this Terrorblade that was picked in the first pick phase, and Eternal King can do it still. There is Snapfire, that was the opener pick that they did, and the second pick, the Terrorblade, but this time the DarkW for Head do have an advantage. They did take second pick, so if Eternal King do go for that first phase second pick of Terrorblade, it can be instantly countered in the second pick of the first phase of DarkW for Head.
Radiant team pick.
I think for the Swarm, plays Bloodseeker, and I think he plays for offlane, and that's why Bloodseeker has been always being banned for him. I really think Bloodseeker is in a really good place now, and a lot of teams are going to be experimenting and trying to play. I have seen a couple of teams doing it in 82L when I was casting them. They are on Legend MMR, and looks like they are finally trying it out, especially after Team Secret showed a perfect game of how Bloodseeker drafts do work. Expecting great team fight orientation from Eternal Kings. They had good control, and they exactly know how to fight and how to dominate these team fights, and I think they made Underlord and Shadow Demon not even have any kind of game impact. Shadow Demon did have a game impact. He was able to save the Morphling. Venomancer being stolen from the side of DarkW for Head. I am personally not a Venomancer believer. I know Speed goes crazy on this hero and he loves this hero, but I don't think it's that good. Terrorblade being picked up by DarkW for Head. They do the same thing that was done by the Eternal King. They are gonna show Eternal King that we can also play Terrorblade, and better yet, what we will show you that we can play Terrorblade better than you. They are openly challenging Eternal Kings.
5 seconds remaining.
DarkW for Head should be a bit careful. Eternal King do have Snapfire, so they can essentially lock down this Terrorblade, especially early game, and ruin the laning phase of Terrorblade. Magnus being banned by Eternal King. They don't want any kind of enhancers for the Terrorblade. Might even ban the Ogre Magic just to make sure that no one boosts this Terrorblade. There's always Pugna that can sit from the back. Pause by Pugna does sound a bit weird, but it is able to save it, especially if it's the Pugna played from mid.
5 seconds remaining.
But Ogre would be one of my red flags for banning from the side of the Eternal Kings. I think Ogre is in a bad place currently in the meta or the patch, so he's not that strong as he used to be. Necrophos, Zeus, both being banned from DarkW for Head. Zeus, obviously, counter to Terrorblade, ruins the game of Terrorblade, doesn't have any kind of impact. When there is Zeus, Terrorblade just needs to keep farming. Necro, for the Swarm, played a really good Necro game. He made enough space for the Terrorblade and even the Monkey King, and the 3-man combo, or 3-man duo, or not duo, 3-man trio, was able to bring a lot of heroes bottom and was able to hold him down. Interesting ban coming from Eternal King, banning the Weaver. I think Weaver pause 4 is still a thing. I forget if the patch affected him, especially 7.27. I don't remember. I don't play the hero. I despise the hero. Well, the three main counters actually, Necro, Zeus, and Phantom Lance are being removed. The same thing I was talking about in the last game, Eternal King. They banned the Zeus, they banned the Phantom Lancer, and they picked the Necro themselves, essentially removing three of the biggest counters to Terrorblade, who threaten him in all stages of the game. And the same thing is being done by DarkW for Head. Looks like they might have watched my drafting video on YouTube.
Radiant team pick.
Warlock, yeah. I would like to see more of the Oracle with Terrorblade. It's something I like, especially to remove any kind of stunts coming from Snapfire, giving that nice heal and making sure that you don't get bursted and you always have that the save from Oracle. I forgot what is false promise, so that you don't die and you have time to use Thunder on people and come back to full health. But Oracle does the same thing, provides heals in the laning phase, gives him a nice, beautiful team fight, all with the fatal bonds. If Eternal King group up, they might be a bit troubled. Eternal King did ban out the Sand King when they were going for this Terrorblade pick, because the Sand King does the same thing as Zeus and Necrophos. He jumps with his blink, burst strike epicenter on the Terrorblade, and Terrorblade being a high armor but low HP hero, he might be killed in a brief moment from the Sand King. So Terrorblade needs to be a bit careful this game. It's not a free game that Terrorblade had last time. But he does have the Warlock. As long as the Warlock heal is on him, he should not get bursted by the Sand King and Snapfire. At the moment, I feel like Venomancer Snapfire is not a good support duo. Unless this Venomancer is pushed into a pause 3 and Sand King is pushed into pause 4. I really don't like Venomancer at the moment. I feel like it's a greedy support, and he needs stuff to make impact, or else he's this hero who just comes in, drops his ult, and feeds away the gold to the enemy hero. And all he can do is maybe provide vision, but it's giving golden experience to the enemy. DarkW for Head, go for a Brewmaster pick. A pick that you don't usually see that often, but he was buffed in this patch, or in the 7.27, and he is indeed nice. He has the ability to remove people from the fights, but Eternal King so far don't have any of those heroes who you benefit from removing. Brewmaster can change the tide of the team fights if he is able to tornado this Venomancer and make sure that he doesn't drop his ult, and buy enough time for the side of DarkW for Head for them to clean up the side of Eternal Kings. I would like to see some kind of piercer or damage dealer. Arc Warden being picked up by Eternal Kings. I like it. I feel like as a Terrorblade, I was talking about this in the last game, where Eternal King did ban him in the third phase, so that they don't get the last phase. That the Arc Warden is good. Anytime you go into Metamorphosis, the bubble comes down, you can't do anything. You need to reposition yourself. And Terrorblade is a turret. You don't want to reposition yourself. You want to sit, and your teammates are going to be the ones helping you, bring them to you, essentially to kill you. Arcron might have a bit of a struggle. There is a Tiny and a Brewmaster who do make blinks. Pause 4 Tiny, but pause 3 Brewmaster who will make a blink and jump into your bubble. So as long as Arc Warden, he's most likely going to get a Dragon, not Dragon Lance, Hurricane Pipe, or even just a casual Force Staff to make sure he has enough distance.
5 seconds remaining.
I hope that this is not a safe lane Arc Warden. I played safe lane Arc Warden once. I didn't feel as strong as a mid Arc Warden. I think the levels do need, you do need those levels and XP But they could always do a pause 5 Venomancer with a pause 1 Arc Warden. So this Venomancer essentially is your jungler who just comes into the lane for Arc Warden if he's having any troubles to aid him or turn into a kill with the slow coming from the Venom scale. I think Eternal Kings, they have decent lockdown, but I think they still lack in the section of burst damage. I think they could use someone like Void Spirit, especially with the Zags. I think they need to increase a bit more crowd control with Void Spirit Ags, as well as just running through this Terrorblade and piercing him and doing a lot of damage and trying to blow him up before he can use Thunder. I believe Salvage? No, not... Yeah, Salvage plays Void Spirit. So if they can always flex this Arc Warden into the safe lane and go for a Void Spirit, either mid or safe lane. It doesn't need to be fully mid. It can be from the safe lane position. I think Arc Warden is enough response for the Terrorblade. He makes Mjolnir, so the Illusion should be dying. And he also makes either Sight or Bloodthorn to dish out a lot of damage onto the Terrorblade. And you already have the Sand. I think commenting more than 2 heroes onto a core might be harmful for your own draft.
Dire team pick.
Drow Ranger.
I did not see that coming, actually. An instant pick from DarkW for head. They are gonna go Brood Mother. Ooh, this might be a hard lane for Skater. I'm not sure if Arc Warden is good against Brood Mother, because Arc Warden is slow, and he tries to delay his brown boots as much as possible, trying to get the Hand of Midas. And I think Brood Mother might be able to get on this Arc Warden with the Spiralings and poses a threat onto Skater. Maybe they might turn the Sand King into mid and send this Arc Warden off lane to make his lane better, maybe? I'm not sure. It might be a hard lane for Skater this game. He's gonna be hurt really bad, but there is a Drow, so the Skater does not need to be on his A game. He was able to farm really well on the Monkey King. He did avoid playing mid. He just jungled, so I'm pretty sure he should be able to jungle pretty well on the Arc Warden as well. And he always has his Drow. As long as the Drow is standing next to him, both of them are gonna be dishing so much damage. But Eternal Kings are squishy, so Warlock Golem with the Fatal Bonds can kill some of these cores, especially early on. I'm really excited. Kind of team fight heavy from both sides, Sand King, Warlock, and Brewmaster. So a lot of brawls should be seen in this game. Most likely Arc Warden and Drow are going to be disappearing, especially with Terrorblade. Brood Mother is probably gonna be making the space for the Terrorblade, and Terrorblade is this late game insurance. I think they should make this Drow Ranger go mid against the Brood Mother. I think Drow Ranger might have a better time compared to the Arc Warden. I'm pretty sure Skater can play safe lane Arc Warden. But anyways, it's League of Legends Season 5. Come on, let's go. Game 2 between Eternal Kings versus DarkW for head.